Thor?
Hello.
Hey, buddy. I made a mistake and put people into a meeting room.
So
Whew, I don't want to be here.
yeah, that's what happens. You take a long day, long weekend, you know. So did you?
Nice.
Who won the tournament?
It was 4 glorious days of sailing the open seas and pillaging and punching, and it's pretty cool.
Let's see. Damien has entered the waiting room.
Yeah. You can. I don't know if you can hover over him and join him in. Morning, Damien.
Looks like he is. Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot of stuff to cover. Some good stuff too. Let me share my screen with you. We're gonna get started here in just a few minutes, and Damien, you're a little early. I'll have this all set up too, Thor, when we get in later on today after we get a few more things going on. Okay, there it is. All right. Check this bad boy out. I got the commodities to fire.
Oh, good.
And it worked out pretty well, right? But I also got, and here's the big one, these bad boys. ATMs, baby. ATMs.
Yes.
And if you're wondering, Max, do the ATMs really work? Do they really work? Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty strong evidence. 1,060. How many days is that?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Crap.
7-6. I hope I got the math right in here. That's all I got to say. 68 trades. 72 trades. There's 62. There's 68 trades. 70% success, and this is what it is right here.
Yeah.
So the calculation goes: if it's in the minus, it's a loss. If it's a plus, it's a win. Now we get 90%, 99% fill rate on these. 99% fill rate on these buggers. So even if you missed one or two in a crucial point, I don't think we're going to make that big of a difference. Crazy, right?
Yeah. That's just nuts. Mm-hmm. In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Excuse me, in a good way. Damien, I've muted you in case you haven't noticed. I have muted you. We haven't begun recording yet either. There's a chat. No problem. You can always unmute on your screen. God, if you got questions, this den's for you. Well, it's for everybody, but you happen to be here right now. So it's Damien's den. Don't want to expose what anybody's saying. Okay, good. Oh, that was you. Good morning, Dylan. You don't have a microphone? Or... If you do happen to come out and you're making too much noise, I'll ask you to mute. It seems like most of you are pretty self-aware. That's cool. We're going to start here in just a few minutes, just going over a few things. We're not going to try to make these too long. We're going to be making multiple of them at different times. All right, let's see here. Where do we want to start at this morning? Move this out of the way. Gotta get out of this. There we go. All right, let's have a look at Mr. David Mennings. We're going to start here about 4 o'clock, or about 4 o'clock, about 11 o'clock. I've been gone for too long. What a vacation it was. And I got to start recording. I think we've already started recording. Yep, we have. We started recording. I put it on automatic. I did a few things. Some of you got into a waiting room. Some of you didn't. I'm going to admit you in. If you're calling 989 number, I'm not sure who you may be. You can introduce yourself. I think most of the times when you're logging in, you can put a name in. But if you're calling in just on the phone, it might be a little bit harder.
That might be Chris.
I think it might be. In Chris's fashion, he'll come in and scare the hell out of me.
Well, he's on the road or something, and so he's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
on the phone. I think he can only listen.
He can only listen. He can't talk.
I think that's correct. That's what he said.
Got to find a way to
notes.
get this over to Nancy.
Uh,
All right, here's David Menning's results for the week so far. I'm just coming to look at them. Pretty crazy. Oh, that's back in June. There's July. I have not traded live today. I'm very disappointed in myself. So far for July, David Manning's done $86 in one day, 17 on the one, 232. Boy, banner day. Look at that. Huge, huge day. 222 there. Traded all wrong, but worked out negative. I don't know what that means, but
worked out negative. Trade all wrong, you get punished.
Yeah, right. Trade all wrong, but worked out positive. Didn't have coffee yet. Ah, I see. So he had a couple of boo-boos, went the wrong way or did something wrong. Traded all wrong. Oh, okay. So he had 3 trades at 9 a.m. and hadn't had coffee yet. See, this happened. Hey, listen, this guy's done a lot of trades. You know, this isn't something to sneer at, right? It's like you wake up, you get a bad day, you make some mistakes, and you end up punishing for it, right? I don't know. Were you on that webinar that I did the 100 contracts on when I was trying to do 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had to get out.
We've all done that.
Yeah.
Or similar stupid things.
Yeah. It was like, it went from like, because as soon as I did, it was like $1,700 in the hole. I was like, I don't feel so good. You know what I mean? And it was like, pink. And I had to get out. Now, I took a small loss, but it was a lot better than,
Oh, yeah.
$7,000 loss. So, all right. Okie dokie. Got a few people on. We're going to start at 11 o'clock. These meetings are they're for everybody. It's not for just me to come in and talk and kind of throw stuff at you. But we're going to be going over some things. If you're here, we really do got to get a little bit organized. I've been away, like everybody knows, since the 3rd. And literally, I kid you not, I mean, my family were like social media phone Nazis, right? They're like, you can't be on the phone, you can't do nothing. We played video games all weekend with the kids. We were just, I snuck a few times and I got in trouble. I mean, literally had my phone taken away from me like a 4-year-old. Well, if a 4-year-old had a phone, right? But it was crazy, but it was very refreshing. I don't know if anybody of you know enough about what's going on in the world, but social media has become a place of negative and pessimism and bitterness and hatred. We don't bring any of that nonsense into here. Okay. So if you're here and you're brand new and you're wondering, is this a new platform to be able to spit any rhetoric or nonsense or political, or I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Jewish, Christian, gay, it doesn't matter to me at all. What matters to me is that you're here to make a future for yourself. And that's what we're going to focus on. I don't care what your political affiliation is. If you love Trump, you hate Trump, you love America, you hate America, what have you. Okay. Keep it to yourself and keep it out of here. If you're in Discord and you're spitting any nonsense of, political stuff in there, I'm going to kick you out faster than anything, because the dissension of people's opinion.
What does it have to do with making money?
That's right. Who said that? Jeremy?
Oh, my bad. I thought I was on mute.
No. All right. None of that has about making money. You're absolutely right, dude. Right? And I really don't care about anybody's political affiliation or nonsense. We're all here to make money, and that's what we're going to do. Now, we started. Welcome, Jeremy, by the way. Thank you very much for chiming in. Our solution here about making money is all within our ability and our timing. There's some of you that have too much time on your hands. There's some of you that don't have enough time on your hands. It can fit. I'm going to show you some shit today, okay? Because this is the, you know, if you got kids in a room and you're on speakerphone, cover their ears, send them out, do whatever, because this is going to get real for us. This isn't going to be your guru's room of, you know, everything pat you on the head and treat you like, you know, you're the best thing since sliced bread. You're going to have fucked up days. You're going to have messed up timing like this, right? Worked out for David Menning, but it's still, you know, something happened. We don't know, and it's okay. Maybe if he comes into the room, he'll let us know. Okay, I'm just going to go through some of the things that you're going to see. This isn't about proving the system works. We know the system works. It's time now to start getting the system working for you. That's why you joined the den. That's why you're here. This is why we're close. You know, I'll ask anybody here, you know, if you've probably heard this statement before, you know, if your system works so well, why do you sell it? Why don't you just give it away? Because it's worth something. You know, no entrepreneur ever gave everything that they had away and never made money, right? I want to be charitable. I want to be philanthropic, even if that's a word or not a word. I'll make it my own now. But there's a time when you got to get the rubber to meet the road. And that time is now. Now, I know we don't have all of our ducks in a row, and there's a lot of little things that we're working on and fixing on. And I'll even show you some things that as we go through, you'll be seeing me fix things even as we're talking here today. And a couple of those things that you're going to see pretty quickly is we have made some changes. Well, actually, we've made some changes. We've made a lot of changes to the website and to the system. Hang on a second. There we go. And the website's changing constantly. There's new stuff being added. There's stuff being taken away. There's going to be people that are involved, that were in the site, that were free members, that are no longer going to be there. And it's kind of crazy. A couple of new things that have fired off. Why did that do that? Okay, let me see if I refresh here. That's why. Okay. I just want to make an announcement. This username and password was to a spreadsheet that was on here that had a username and password. That's all. I'm going to fix that right now because we had a lot of people comment, "Hey, Max, I think you gave your passwords away." We even had one person try this on my email address. It's like, really? Come on. Let's be serious here. As you can tell, I use a WordPress website network, so I'm not hiding anything from anybody. There is a lot of stuff that we're going to kind of go over today that's going to get us, let me see who's. Make sure when you first come in, I'm going to mute you. Tariq, I'm going to mute you just for a second. You can always unmute. There's some controls inside the system when you first get here that you can take part in. Now, I wanted to be able to show you this in the system and not just to the website. Okay, done there. Oh, it was up here. That's why. There it is. Wink and delete. The new ATM. Done. All right, so we're going to go in and look at those real quick. Here we go. So on the den, if you don't see this den portal, please reach out to us. We'll get you set up within the system. There's also going to be a link that we're going to send you today that you'll go and you'll watch the video. It's like the setup video of startup where what we're going to be doing. But the first things you're going to be doing is to make sure that you have in your den start, you've started training. Most of you have been here and have been here for a while. Okay. Mr. Menning's in the room now. Most of you have been here for a while. Most of you know how to trade the signals. Most of you know how to trade the system. But most of you don't know how to keep it happening for you. You get a couple losses, you get a couple of wins, you get a little greedy, or you don't get greedy enough, or you don't follow the program completely, like using incremental crawl, those kind of things. So we're going to work on that. All of you are going to be at different stages of your run here. Okay. So this isn't about creating a duplicational method that it looks exactly like it does for David Menning. Does it look like for you? Or maybe Jeremy will have a great day and Ron may not, right? Because maybe he made a few mistakes, or he bought into a different program, or he's doing something different, right? Also, inside the system, there's going to be a communication network we call Discord. Some of you are familiar with it, some of you are not. I suggest that you all get in there immediately. And where do you find this information out? As soon as you go into training, you go right down here. You'll go right down to the Discord training room. Okay, that's real important. Let Tariq back in again. There's some standard training in here on the Den page. We're going to get rid of some of this stuff in here too today. On making a journal, the tools, that's real important too. Okay, making a journal. These are very important. So your first task is to start going through all the training videos. There's really, if you've already gone through Dex Atomic and you know how to view this, you know how to view the charts, you know how to attach the charts, you know how to run the charts and all that stuff. If you know how to use the Dex Atomic, just go down to the Dex Atomic portal and start trading. Okay. If you know how to do a journal already, go and start your journal. If you don't, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a special Discord channel called the Den Start to make sure you've got everything. Once you get through everything on the Den Start, we're going to tick you off and put a special tag to your name inside our network so we can follow where you're at. Once that happens, you're going to be sending me your journal to my process, and I'm going to put it on a very special page that only admin can see. You're not going to be able to see each other's trades and stuff in there as of yet. Okay. Once you guys get to a certain level, I will be very forthcoming with that information and show everybody. We'll have these meetings. We'll go down through the highlighted list of people that are doing well. If you notice, I share David Menning stuff a lot. He's given me permission to do so. So even if you have like bad success, like Tim O'Neill's here too, I think, and he's had some mixed results on some things, but he's found some good things, like on our Xedan 1 hour system. He has found that there's the 1 hour network works very well, while the dailies and the 2 hours and the other stuff doesn't work as well. Okay. And he's put his own money in, and he's put his money where his mouth is, and he's worked very hard. So to you, Timothy O'Neill, I really do appreciate all that work you've done. And if you've noticed, we've let him post his results unhindered. You know, we didn't, try to keep any, if there's bad news in there, I want to know. I want to know where shit works and shit doesn't work. We have another person with us. He's not in here right now, but he's in testing all of our signals as well as the new stuff. Now, let's talk about the new stuff this morning. Okay. Before we get started, I just want to thank everybody for coming this morning. We got about 10 people in here today. We will be bringing these. This was very impromptu to be here today. We're going to have something in between 11 and 3 each day. We got to figure a perfect zone out. I'm not going to be able to fit everybody at all times, and I don't know if I'll be able to do 2 a day, because remember, I got to trade too, right? We got Thor, we got Chris, we got Paul, we got a handful of people that will be running these at different days of the week. So again, a lot of stuff that we got to really look at. I also will be removing all the advertisements from the page, closing out the free side, and really making this an exclusive network that only people that log in are here for the Den or the green room. Okay. So remember, if you find yourself at all being overwhelmed or anything else, you're having problems, you can't get stuff done, you're getting anxious, pick up a phone and call one of us. Okay. We got Thor, we got myself, we got Chris. And I know sometimes it's hard if you're trying to get a hold of us and you're calling through the system, you're leaving a voicemail. We're going to try to get back to you, okay, as fast as possible. Paul Davies here. I'm going to let Paul Davey come in. He is a trusted member of the network, so I'm going to put him as a co-host. Welcome, Paul.
Hi, Max. All right.
Okay, so we're going to be having these every day for a while. As we get all the, I want to be having these every day until the den start is finished. All of our den members are through that process and started working. And what do you need to do? Step one, go in and learn the system. If you already know it, you're ahead of the game. Okay. So you're going to hit the training process, right? You can begin learning the ATM or the ITM system of trading using the trading charts first. But I do have a special treat for all of you today, and you're going to be wildly blown away. You're going to prepare your demo. If you're already trading live, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep that train going. Just keep things moving forward. We're going to give you a month or two to get settled in and whatever it's going to be before there's any charges or any of that nonsense, right? So if you're trading the process, if you're trading our network, then just keep moving forward to what you've already started to learn. As you come in, if you have not set up a demo account, if you do not have a journal, get these set up in this order. Prepare your demo, make your journal, okay? If you're unsure of the codes, what codes to use, we're going to be making better videos, more on-hand videos about the codes. A lot of people want to know more about the codes. You know, I don't know if some of you have ever seen Timothy O'Neill's spreadsheet. It is amazing. I wish I could do half of what he does in a spreadsheet. You know, I possibly could sit down and learn it, but I'm just at awe every time I watch it. Even watching David Menning and what he's come back, you know, what he's come out with for a long time, just very simplistic and having all the data that he needs there, right? This is pretty powerful, folks. And if we look at just July so far, today's the 7th. He's still only trading one contract at a time. David Menning, you are amazing. I tell you that right now. You're doing a great job, and I can't thank you enough for being here and sharing your results. Now, let me see here. Had a train of thought. This is what happens, vacation brain. You go away, you come back, and you go over the place. All right. Oh, that was the den. Okay. So make sure you get into Discord. What is Discord? It's this network right here. Now, I know when you get in, you're probably a little confused. Where do I go? What do I do? Right? And we're going to have some videos on this. I promise you over the next week, over the next couple of days, we're going to have some because this is changing a little bit, right? If you are a demo person, we're going to have you in here. We're going to assign you certain roles. You may see something in here that or on my page that you don't have, like you don't have the admin side. Okay. So don't worry about that. The voice channels, if you have a microphone and you need some help, you're like, hey, could you meet me in one of the rooms? And boom, just like that, I'm in here talking inside the Dex. And you can hear me and I can hear you if you're in this room. We'll teach you how to set up your settings and all that kind of stuff with all your stuff that you may need. Okay. And we'll help you through this process. But remember, this room is not some sort of throw up mechanic of putting in your mentalities or your daily mantras or any of that kind of stuff. If you want to boost each other up, okay, cool, right? Give each other kudos for great jobs, share your charts, you know, ask questions, but please keep it about the trading. Don't make it about some sort of hierarchy of that you know more than somebody else does and all this other nonsense, okay? Most communities fail because people kind of bend the mentality of what you're supposed to be in here to make money with, okay? So this isn't, hey, can you post your trades before you do them so I can follow you? This is not a trader's room follow network. Do you know why? Because that ensues laziness. I'm going to be very clear with you. If you have to follow somebody else's process as far as David Menning's or Dylan Davis's or anybody else's, even trader or Thor's in there, then you're not setting it up for yourself. You're learning how to use a tool, which is the signal. Excuse me. Not following somebody else's trade that they chose, that they put their hard work in on. Okay. Also, if you do have problems, you can ask the community, you know, hey, what do you do? But keep in mind that not everybody in here uses everything that we do. They do have other things that they use. And that leads me to my last point. Do not sell anything in this room. If you're caught selling anything in this room, you're going to be asked to leave. And you'll be removed from the den, and you'll be removed from the company. And I have to say that in that fashion because we've already had a few people that I've had to ask to leave. Because this is not your personal entrepreneur pool, okay? You're not here to recruit anybody into any other systems. You're not here to recruit or sell anything to anybody here. I don't care if it's the cure to cancer. Okay. Do not bring it in here. We'll make a whole new website for you, right? But don't bring it into here.
Yeah, we do web hosting, you know.
Yeah, we do web hosting. We'll help you with the cure of cancer. You know, I could use it myself. But the solution here for us is if we're here to make money, let's keep it about that. Okay. Little tiny tributes and all that kind of stuff, not a problem, right? Okay, let's dive in. You guys ready? Here we go. Look at this bad boy. This is the Dex, and I got to rename the heading here. But this little spreadsheet that you see here right now, and I'll show you where it's located at. It's right here. This little bad boy is the key to everything for later. Well, I say that misty-eyed because we have worked so hard to take all of those charts, all of those signals that were happening at the monies, and look at this bad boy. This thing here, I got to grab some information here. Just give me 1 second. Now, unlike our other signals that were made by myself and one other programmer, maybe even a third there for a little while, that stuff is so convoluted with a lot of code. There's more code in one page over there than all of our systems here for the Dex Atomic, right? There's more code in one page than in our entire network, and that's crazy. Now, I'm going to show you this next page, and I hope you like it. This is where I put this in, and if there's a loss, it counts it as minus 55, and if there's a win, it counts as plus 55. I think I did that right. Yep, good. Whew. All right, so I did it right. I just wanted to make sure because there's a lot of trades that are happening. By the way, this started yesterday. We started counting the trades out that if it won. Now there's a 99% fill rate too. By the way, we've already tracked that 99% fill. Crazy, right? And as we started to track this, I do know that sometimes, depending on the direction, like this one was actually, if you would have gotten it for that particular one, 13, 16, you would have won, right? And it's the opposite in the process if it's a sell. I've tried to incorporate the indicative pricing match in this system, but it's very difficult with Nadex because it fluctuates so much. So one contract may be a loser or a winner, and a zero, depending on if you got that exact fill, like if Nadex had 1.1308 on the line, great. You may have had gone up. You may have won. It may have gone up 4 or 5 pips. You may have gotten it and it got that 45. But let me tell you, if you had gotten these ones, right, maybe you wouldn't have been able to fill in some of the pricing structures here. But even if you missed 10% of these, you would have still won very, very nicely. And so that's what we're doing next. We're following these. I'm going to be following these signals as they come over. Now, there is a way to get these yourself. And I'm going to be releasing that ATM in the trading view process later on this week. Okay. But I'm trying to keep it very secure because this is very powerful. You're going to have to go through TradingView to get it. And that's a little bit different than normal. This DEN network is going to be utilizing a lot of this too. And we are working this week to get the Xedan Dex Atomic ATM system on. We're working this week and next to get this on that process. Now that we have secured the signal and the process, and we see that it works very well. I mean, what is that? It's $1,000 since yesterday, since 12 o'clock yesterday. I don't even know what it would have been for the rest of the week because I was in building it and doing a lot of things. I cheated yesterday a little bit while on vacation. As I was playing the game, I did one thing, I turned it on. And my wife came walking in the room right about an hour later when I was checking stuff. She says, "What are you doing?" And I got in trouble. All right, there's Tim Willoughby. Add him in. So the process here is, if you're going to be following these signals, here's what you're going to have to do. You pull over to the den. You can come to just the den for right now. We will have a whole system around it under the Dex Atomic, but the Dex Atomic will also, this page will be here, but it will also later be it'll also later be in the Dex Atomic system as well. Let me pull up here. Okay. It'll also be on the Dex Atomic page as well. But for now, you could either be in here or over there later on today. But what you'll do is you'll come to the page, and at exactly at the top of the hour, you're going to have to refresh the page. It's not auto refreshing. And the reason why I didn't do that is because that system takes a lot of power from our network. So I just have it at this. You'll come back at the top of the hour. Okay, very simple to follow. There's the open time, there's the expiry time, there's the direction, there's the asset, and there's the open price. The price will come out, and you'll go over to the Nadex, and you'll find something. If it's a sell, you'll find something that's either at this number or higher. And if it's a buy, you'll find something that's a little lower or higher, or I'm saying a little at that money or lower, right? So you would find something, or sorry, on this side, 107, say 64, if that was on it, because you're not always going to get this exact price. Okay. So that's important to realize. You're not always going to get that particular price. All right. Is anybody in the room? You're muted out, so you can come out and unmute. And if you have questions, please come out and ask now before we get into the next segment. Or if Thor or Paul or anybody else has anything to.
Yeah, well, just to clarify, you use 4555.
Oh, yes.
Order,
Good job.
on that trade he was just discussing. So.
Yes, that is a 4555 trade scenario, by the way. So when you're in, you put a working order on, $45. And if you're on a sell, you put 45. If you're on a buy, you put 55. Right? Gives you a $45 profit margin. You always talk profit margins. Okay. So after fees and all that kind of stuff, you may have some of the processes. Go ahead, Jeremy. Do you have a question? You can unmute and come out.
Yes. Basically, I have the USD JPY, and I also have the British pound US dollar. I've been trading since yesterday.
Right.
Can I trade those both at the same time as my two pairs that I'm following, since the base pair is different from the opposite pair?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's suggested to do so. In this particular scenario, if you were to trade every single one, there'll be times that you got maybe 3 or 4 trades on, right? And there may be a conflict of interest at times, like the Aussie USD compared to the Euro USD may not be in conflict, right? They both have the USD as the pair, as the base pair, right? Or the connection pair. The common denominator between the two is the USD and the USD JPY. So if you try to trade all three, and the USD decides, hey, I'm going to take a ship bed for the day, at that time, you may lose all 3 trades, right? Where why not just take the gamble of trading one and putting 3 contracts on? So there is a process that if you're trading it manually, trade it wisely, right? Look for confluence between the actual trades themselves. If you see like the Euro JPY and the USD JPY is in a buy and the Euro JPY is in a sell, just like this. Well, this was at 11 o'clock, it's an hour later. But let's just say they were both on the same time frame. That may mean a little bit of mixed up emotions in the market. There might be something unusual happening. The market likes fluidity. It likes the ability to be able to move. Like if you look at the Aussie JPY and the Aussie USD, they move together. They're connected. And you almost look exactly like on a chart sometimes. All right. So if they start acting wildly differently, then that means that, the bonds are breaking of the commonality between them. But I like your question. Yes, err on the side of caution. When you are doing a trading, like you're trading a lot of trade, you're trading like this in mass quantity. If you have the balance, then you have the opportunity. By the way, folks, this is just trading with the master pairs. Those 5 that I was talking to you about. I didn't put the other 10. I didn't put the other 5 on because I didn't want to overwhelm the system. Those 5 only fire from 8 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. And it takes a little bit to make a system that will only allow certain signals to fire. And I'm working on it. I had it done so it didn't show on the chart, but it's kicked my ass when it shows up in the trading process.
Well, if we can't find enough trades with the 5 master pairs,
Oh yeah. Do you guys think that that's enough
plenty of
trades? Is that enough trades? That's one day, 71 freaking trades. Even if at 99% fill, let's just say 1 out of every 7, so 64 trades. Tell me, is that enough?
Expanding it so they can do the early morning trade for us on this side of the pond.
I'm sorry, son. What'd you say?
What you said from 8 a.m. Eastern time. Will you be able to extend that so it's the early hours of the morning for this side of the pond?
Well, that's for the other the secondary assets.
My apologies.
That's okay. The primary assets fire 24 or 22.5, right? But they fire all day long. These buggers that I just showed you are firing all day long. This is, and when you come, that's okay. That's all right. I mean, there's always a worry. Do I have a time frame? We have always tried to build, never just for one time frame, because we know there's people all over the country. One of the owners of this company is in the UK. Okay, so we've always tried to consider.
Trust me, it took me a while to get to grips with it as well. But
yeah,
I'm okay with it now.
Right. Yeah, that's your time zone. That trading from Eastern time, 2 a.m. to the market closes right around 12 noon here Eastern time. But it can be very volatile. They call it the London Open for a reason on some of those strategies that you see out there, because it does have a lot of liquidity, and there's a lot of sometimes just volatility in that process. But when I say choose a session, here's what you guys got to really consider when you're picking out your trading times. We used to have you go to investing.com and go look at news and all that kind of stuff. You could still do that, right? News creates a lot of volatility. By the way, our system traded through the news. Our Xedan, which I'll show you here in a second, traded through the NFP. Very odd, very weird. We took a little hit, but it's since come back in spades. It's worked out very well. There is a lot of stuff that's happening this week, so please be very careful when trading manual at certain times. If you see things like the FMOC and you see only 2 bull and, you got all this stuff, you got 3 bull here at 10 o'clock, avoid the 9 o'clock. And if you're going to get in any trades, even avoid the 10 to 11. But then you already know this information. You get this can come out. You can go to investing.com and just go to the tools and pull up the economic chart calendar, and you can see your entire week. Plan out your entire week, because are there signals just for about every single hour of the day? Yes. Even if your session is all right, Max, I got to be at work at 9 o'clock. I got about an hour. I get up and I go work out. I got about 20, 30 minutes at the top of the hour. I can go put some trades on and split. The mentality gives you, this is not sitting down. Nobody needs a Bloomberg device. You know what a Bloomberg device? Those big giant things with four screens, 6 screens, whatever, 9 screens. Everybody's yelling, sell and buy. Those days are done, man. What we're trying to do is to create our market right here for us today. Us, nobody else, just us. Everybody in the den, this is what we're planning on. It's just making our money. Group it all. I'm not going to say I'll put it in a pile, but get in there and start getting your money. And that means in setting your demo account, training, Go through the training. Go through the process of getting your trades looking like this. This is the consistency you need to get to. I know David Menning's here. I'm not going to ask you to come out unless you want to, but this consistency took him about, I know he was trading prior to coming here, as far as coming to the den and starting this process of trading the ATM. I know you were trading our other signals and our other systems, so you had experience. But let me tell you, I haven't met somebody yet that can't come in and within the month be able to start to go live. You all have that capability. Financially, that might be another story. If you are going to come in, like I think it was Jeremy who was asking about the timing, is if you're going to come in and trade, you may not be able to trade, 4 or 5 trades at once. So instead of crawling up to 2 or 3 contracts per each trade, just keep it there. I mean, come on. In 1 month, David Manning made $2,500. This is live money, by the way. This is not just demo. I don't say bullshit demo because demo is very important to all of you. All right. There's other people that have made money. I will be contacting each one of you as you share your screen with me, as you share your journal with me, and there'll be a little questionnaire for you to fill out, but to ask if we can share your results. And I don't care if they're good, bad, or ugly. Right? Because even if they are ugly, we need to kind of discuss, hey, what's going on, right? Like, let's have a look at something. David Manning said that he had messed up and he went to, I don't know what happened here, but it doesn't matter. Does that look any different than anything up here? No. But his lessons, his marker, what he says for himself, hey, traded all wrong, made a mistake, worked out positive, but still out negative, right? Made 2 contracts there, started dumping it up, and whatever happened, it happened. Made him $121, but was that really a lesson to be learned? Yes, he learned something from that. Could it have taught him something negative? Absolutely. Right? All right. All right. Well, another treat. You ready for another treat? Here's another treat. As we get into trading this process of getting our Dex ATMs, I do have the ITMs, but I'm reluctant to put those out because they do work. But just like with the Xedan bot right now, it takes a lot longer, okay, to trade ITM numbers. Now, what I have found is that the numbers for the ITM work really well at a 45-55 base structure, but you don't fill as many. Okay, you don't fill as many. You got about a 60% fill rate, which is still a hell of a lot better than the Xedan bot at like 40-something percent, 30% at time. Okay, so but I do have something else for you that's pretty cool that we will be releasing here very shortly, and it's this little bugger. You guys know what this is?
Commodities.
Commodities and indices. That's right, commodities and indices. Now, why is that so uber important? Well, let's just have a look real quick. I'm not seeing very many losses in here. I don't know what the fill rate is for these. They're a little bit tougher. And they're firing off all day long for some reason. And I got to isolate, like I said before, I got to isolate that variable where it only fires from, I think it's 10 to 2 and 10 to 1 on that process. So I can only use a certain amount of the trades. Let's just grab all this from here. Let me see here. This is our thing. Let's just do this. Let's just pump that like that. And let's see if we can steal this code here. Bet you we could. I think we can. Wait, was it from there? There. Ah, look at that. Wait, what? Oh, okay. They all won. So this one doesn't have non-issuant fill. So that's what happened this morning so far. I don't think I got them in time yesterday. Let me go look here. Yesterday, 7-6, so from 10 to 1. that's all through the night. God, they fire through the night. 7.6, 1600. No. 12, yeah. So there's that. Sorry, bear with me, as you guys. These first few ones we're going to be practicing on. Okay, previous. Of course, 12 to 2 right there. Now, don't be overwhelmed with all this because, okay. Well, I didn't realize that. I'm getting the results right in front of you as well. That's terrible. I don't think I'll be trading the commodities or indices anytime soon. No? No takers on that one? Okay. I don't know what the fill rate is. We'll find out what they are, but as we go along. You guys know I'm joking, right? That's actually good. Right, I did it right? Let me see here. G, yep. Wow. Yeah, it started yesterday. So let's add that to the total. It's about $2,000 in a day. Oh my God. I wasn't prepared for that this morning. I wasn't prepared for any of this morning in tracking this. I think we have something pretty damn good. So next, let's have a look at the, here's July's, well, I haven't even, have I finished out? That was 23 into 10. I don't know if I had the process there. Let's see here. From 10 p.m. There wasn't anything after 10 p.m. Doesn't look like it. Okay. So that's good. So we didn't have anything after 10 p.m. I had my system shut off last night. There, and here's what we found out. And thank you so much to Jeremy White or Jeff Whitman, I think it was, who said so in Discord. This is why it's so beautiful that we got all you guys in there, because you're so awesome. The Xedan system yesterday, just real quickly, traded out really well from yesterday this morning. And just as I said his name, he comes into the room. Welcome, Jeffrey. The Xedan system yesterday, we found that would turn off after every so often, right? If it didn't have activity. So if you've got a trade group that didn't trade for a couple of hours, more than 1 or 2, then your system would boot you out and then close down the Xedan, right? Which is okay, but guess what? We found a solution already, and I didn't even find it. Jeffrey Whiteman found it. So awesome. Thank you very much. But here's what it is. You go into your account, my account, you go to settings right here, go down to preferences, boom, just like that. And you start scrolling down and you'll see session inactivity. To improve your online security, you can set Nadex Trader to log in and out automatically. It's the same thing on the new system as well. So if you have it set for an hour, which is the default, if you go an hour without a trade, guess what happens? If you go a second hour, boom, you might get booted. So you can bump that up to say 4 hours or 8 hours or 12. I'm just going to put it on 12 and I'm going to set my preference. I'm going to say thank you. And now my Xedan will stay on forever. Thank you very much.
Very good. I got about 6 questions about that in customer support.
Yeah. Well,
I knew it had to be something like that, but I wasn't sure what.
Well, I knew because I went in and I looked at the code and I could see the logs on my own system, and it had a call that came from Nadex and it was like, please close. That's basically what it said. So I was like, wait a minute. Why is Nadex telling my shit to close? I don't want it to close. Don't tell my stuff to close. I was like, oh. And then I seen the thing in Discord today. This is why Discord's so important to have all you beautiful brains in there, right? right?
Max just on that, it might be a good idea to get people at the end of their day or before they go to bed, just to simply, obviously not on the hour, but to close the Xedan down and reopen it again, so it doesn't get triggered over the evening time. Or sorry, when they're asleep, or when late at night.
Yeah, there's a part of the process that a lot of people are keeping their stuff on all the time, which is fine. You can do that now. Now that you've who was it that just said that? Was that Jeffrey or Jeff?
Is Damien.
Damien. Okay, yeah. There are people that are like, well, I can avoid an entire time by just turning it off, and that's absolutely right. You can turn it off. You can also use this just during the day. There's so many different ways to use this. But now with this, and thank you so much, Jeff, because this really saved my skin with that, and getting a whole bunch of people in here to try to figure out why their Nadex is calling our system. But this solution is perfect. Set it to 12 and on you go. And that'll kind of keep it from cutting it out, hopefully. Now, if they still start sending calls to our system, then we know that they're hunting us. But even then, there's not much that it can do from that point. How much did it do in the day? Since yesterday, started yesterday. Well, I started yesterday. Right there, came back on. From the first week, I mean, this got hit. I mean, we got hit pretty hard on the first. Minus $26. Yeah, broke me. I should just quit trading right now. It was in the hole for a day. But then we jumped up, 130 something bucks last night. I don't know what it would have done from last night. If somebody has some of those results from yesterday, great. You can come out and tell me, and I'll try to find your stuff. So keep that in mind. We're going to be having those that will be testing Xedan and those things out. Great. This is still all.
Hey, Max, this is Victor.
Yeah, hey, bud.
I'm on my iPad driving back again, so I'm just watching your thing. So figured out late. But last night, I was 4 for 4 on the Xedan. I just repaid, so it doesn't count out. So I just figured we have to kill it.
Buddy, I hate to say this, you're coming over pretty harsh. There's it's just,
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I know it's like the connection or something. Sometimes on the Wi-Fi there. Maybe a little. No, it still sounds like Mr. Roboto.
Better. Okay,
No,
sorry.
that's okay. I think if you could send me a message on what you said, I'd appreciate it, because I really want to know what you said, because I know anytime you come out and tell us something like that, it's important. So I appreciate it.
Type it into chat.
Yeah, if you could, please. And I know that you're on your. I think I heard you say that you're on.
He's on his phone. Yeah.
Oh, he's on his phone or pad.
On his pad should work. Phone won't.
Yeah, yesterday, Max. It's Paul.
Yeah.
Yesterday I took, I think it was 8 trades on the Xedan, 2 losses, and those were at stupid o'clock. That was at 3:15 your time.
You said stupid o'clock? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 3:15. It's because obviously in the UK it's obviously a different time period. But yeah, the first 2 was a bad start for the day.
Yeah.
And then it just suddenly picked up and ripped. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight wins straight after.
Oh yeah. It has, like I said, it has its moments. I don't know who this is in here. Is this you? Yep, that's you.
Yeah,
right,
that'd be me.
Yeah. Check that out. Look at that. First two, like, yeah. He's giving his commentary. Bad start to the day. However, picked up later. Get your umbrella, babies. Let me tell you, this is important. This is just the 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
And if you're all looking at that going, hey, this is beautiful, right? Yeah. When we connect this system, let's see, that same time frame, what was that? 6:15? That same time frame of 1400. Well, this was all yesterday, right? Okay. Now, Paul, are you turning your stuff on and off at times?
The wife tells me so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to respond to that. But
I do. I come in. I do the first video in the morning, which is about 6:30 my time.
Right.
And then I turn the Xedan on then, and then I turn it off probably about 8 p.m. GMT time.
Yeah. Okay. So Ed said that, oh, sorry, Ed, I made a mistake. Victor said that yesterday he went 4 for 4 on the Xedan and also refreshed his Xedan throughout the day, so it does not stop. Yeah, it shouldn't stop anymore. I've looked past that process, so that's cool. Dylan says I went 4 for 4, but I got turned off. Yeah, so did I. I mean, if you look at the, let me see, where is it? Yeah, 6.5 results. Yeah, I went 4 for. I went pretty strong. Here's 7.6, 7.6, still 7.6. So that's 1, 2. I lost those first two. Like everybody, see, this is the consistency of the results there, right? When Xedan, but I'm ready to keep studying and making the money. Yeah, absolutely. You said you went 4 and 4 or 4, 4, 4, Dylan. Like 4 and 0, like you won 4. Okay. So, but again, just like Paul, lost those, then won the first 4. Then he gradually turned his stuff off. I went again and won another 4 in a row and then lost the last one for the day. So it made $150, right? Now, same time frame. Let's just look at that. Same time frame from, say, 3:15 in the morning on the 6th to 10 o'clock at night. Let's just look at that same time frame. That made, how much was that made there? Let me see. From right there. I don't know if you guys knew this, that if you hover over, if you select an area of information and you come down here to the little right side of your spreadsheet and you click on that little sum numbers, I don't know if you can see that down here, it gives you a breakdown of everything within that zone of information. So the sum of that is $176 in there. $16 average per thing, because it takes however many units there are and divides it by itself, so it gives you an average. Maximum, you made 43. Count how many trades? 11, right? So 11 lines of information. Okay, so there was $176 made in that time frame. Well, with the other losses from the previous day, it kind of made up and made over. So that means that 26 bucks that lost from the first was made back up plus some, right? But that same amount of time using these signals would have been what? What was it, 6 to 10? Six to 10 to do so on the 6th. There you go. So that's this information here. Right to right there. So let's just do this for a second. Freak everybody out. How much would that have been? $259. $259 in that same time. Not wildly different, but still kind of different, right? It's 100, 200, 100 and something dollars different in that process. I know the Xedan hasn't made $1,000 in a day. Not from that point, not with one contract. This is, by the way, one contract at a time, right? So here's what we've talked about. I don't want to go too long today, but what I want you all to do is prepare yourself to jump into the den. Okay, you're going to go into the systems. You're going to go to the den portal. You're going to make sure that you got everything ready. If you have everything ready, let me go to the training side here. You got to go to the contact. I got to get that email sent to all of you. But you'll go and you'll set up a consult. If you already know how to trade, you already have all that stuff on. Find a way to hit the contact us down here. Tell us that you're ready, that you're trading demo. Here's my journal. Here's my link to my journal. Send it to maxfarrell1@gmail.com. Whatever you have to do, get your journal on. Right, you got your demo started, your journal started. Start if you've been trading for like 2 or 3 months, okay, and you got a whole bunch of data in a journal. Start over, okay. Unless you're in the Dex Atomic trading, unless you're in that Xedan, whatever you're going to be using and choosing, then that's what I want you to do. Okay, start over. Or if you have stuff that you've already been working with and you have your consistency, or you're getting your consistency down, keep that same journal. But in most cases, don't worry about showing me all the things you've been doing since July of last year or January. If you're here to make money, I want to make sure that what you're doing right now is focusing on this, either one of these two processes, the ATM, Dex Atomic, or the ITM. If you're going to be using the Xedan, okay, and that process, keep in mind that that training is really set and forget, but also that it's going to be changing a little bit over the next couple of weeks. We are going to be introducing or creating a new Xedan for the Dex Atomic ATM. At the same time, you can be trading the Dex Atomic signals, okay? These signals are very powerful, as you can kind of see. So if you want to be trading those as well, you just have to choose. Now, when you do this, while you're trading demo, I know that we've seen Chris do this before too, that he went in, he's like, let me trade the Xedan for a little while, and then the 1 hour and the 2 hours and see what works for me. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. Here's what works. 1 hour TNT system. The 1 hour TNT system set at 45.55, right? $45 profit. Take every single one of those signals if you want to. If you're going to use a Xedan, use only the 1 hour. Don't bother with the 2 hour, the SR Max of 5 minutes, the dailies, all that nonsense. 1 hour. That's what works. Timothy O'Neill also helped to prove that. Okay? Works. Done. Make it happen. Okay? David Ben says, yesterday went 4 for 2, but was turned off for quite a while. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I think we fixed that with those preferences. I'm going to make that little video. We'll probably splice it out of here. Or I'll just make something and put it out there for everybody. Okay. There will be like daily videos. Anything that we have will also be tagged into here in the video section. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube, but we'll have a process where you can go in and check to see the training that's happening. So you can, if you miss a training day or if you miss something, then you can come in here and watch. Okay. So I want you to be either trading the ATM from the chart, trading the ATM from the signal, or trading the ITM from the chart. If you're going to be trading with the Xedan, keep in mind that there's going to be things changing, like I said, but you're going to have maybe inconsistent results. Only be trading the 1 hour on the Xedan and start posting that. But you know what? This is no longer about just posting the information so we have it so everybody looks good. This is about there's consistency, right? You can look at my screen and see that there's, like, Paul and I lost the same trades. Thor and I lost the same trades on the Xedan. If you talk to Victor, you'll see that there will be times that he'll be trading it. There might be inconsistent results at times because Paul might have turning his stuff off and on, and I'm leaving it going all the time. I'm using no filters. I'm not using any performance filters. I'm not using any news filters. I'm just letting that shit go. Right? I'm the control. Here's how you set for data. You make a control and you make that stuff happen. Okay? And so if you find that something else works for you better, then share that result. Show us what it is. If it wasn't for Timothy proving some of the stuff for the 1 hour, I couldn't be as confident to say, okay, only the 1 hour works. I've seen that happen. And that's what we're really hoping that, Jeremy says, if you are pressed for time and cash, is there a way you can streamline to live account versus 3 weeks in demo, or is the demo mandatory for trading CVG? That is a great question, Jeremy. Yes, if you're pressed for cash, and you're trying to get into live trading, there is something that you can do, like, and again, how much it is. We try to tell people, trade with at least 10% of your no more than 10% of your balance at any one time. Now, if the average of trades that are happening at any one time in the even the Xedan or something like that is going to be 2 or 3 trades that are happening, but sometimes you might get hit with 4 or 5. So you got to be careful, right? Being that you're using a 45.55 with a $45 profit margin, $55 risk, if you trade at 10%, that means you got to have about $550 in your account for every one contract. You could also look at some of the data that we have and pick the best pair and trade it. But again, you are going to have a long-term relationship with that bot or that system or the way that you're trading. If you're trading ATMs, we do have some people, and I got to find, I'm going to be hunting them out, those data those data guys, right? To say what pair does the best. And I think Timothy has something on his stuff. I think that's this one right here. Here's the 1 hour. You know, what's the best one? I'm not sure. What's the best pair? I'm not sure yet, right? But we'll find that. And that's a good question. Is to knock you down to a single pair or a session. But again, it really does depend on how much you have for cash to be able to do that. But I will say this openly. If you are a Den member and you're paying dues or fees or stuff like that to be here, and you get pressed for cash or something comes up, pick up the phone and call us. Talk to us. Don't just disappear. Okay? We're not some sort of ogre in this network to force you to pay and be all that process. If you're sincere about being here, that work will show. Okay? There's plenty of people in here who don't pay anything, who've paid to be here. Okay? Will never pay anything because of all the hard work they've done. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now also, how can you protect yourself? And this is what you got to be very careful with. Normally some of the times when you get like a little pressed in there, right? Like you got bills to pay, you got this, we're talking about the mentality here. So you got to be very careful. Never, ever, ever chase the dragon. The one contract process of incremental crawl is very important. You have the best pair breakdown on your Xedan sheet. Okay. I got to remember where that Xedan sheet is. That's what David O'Neill was saying. Or David Menning, I'm sorry. David O'Neill. I merged you two together. There we go. Xedan 45. There it is. Look at that. Oh, man, I love you. You are awesome. Check this bugger out. Okay, so the best percentage so far is the Audi USD. 80%. Doesn't get a lot of trades. Don't get me wrong. Doesn't get a lot of trades. That's still pretty good, though. Next best is the EU or EJ. EU. Oh, wait, no, the best is, sorry, Euro JPY. Really? Wow. Okie dokie. Well, that seems to be pretty good. Stay away from some of these other non-pairs. Holy el crapo. No bueno. 90% on the UJ. I got to keep that in mind. Really well done, David. Thank you very much. Okay, you can look at my post on Facebook page with the link, my sheet in the demo. Oh, great job, Timothy. Long term, yeah, very long term. There's a lot of information in here, and I want to get this posted out for all you Den members. If you're going to be trading the Xedan, now listen, if you're using the Xedan live, please be very careful. Please be very careful on how many contracts you put in. That's what I was trying to say. So in the, let's do a new share right here. I don't know if I got this plugged in. It's been a while. Okay. Remember, the incremental call is very important for all of you. And it helps you, it helps prevent you from getting too crazy with, all right, well, I just did a contract for 2 contracts and I lost. So now let me do one for 4 to try to make it up, right? The only way you can make it up is by CVG, is by creating the consistency. And if you're increasing too fast, right? Like in the case of, if we're looking at say $55 risk, right? And we're saying 10%, then $550 per every single contract you're trading at any one time, right? So if your Nadex session has one trade in it, right? At $55, you only want to trade 1 contract. But what happens when you have multiple contracts come over or multiple trades come over? Well, you should probably only trade 1, but if I trade another one at the same time, I'm trading 20% of my balance at any one time. Right? If your balance is only 550 and you're trading this, you're trading 10% of your balance. But if I trade 2, then I'm trading, 20%. Add another one, now you're trading 30%. So it's important for all of you to realize that at any one time that you're trading, never trade more than about 10% of your account. This keeps your risk to ruin very, very low. And what that will also do is create a system of progression for you, an analysis to immediately know how many you should trade. Because the moment you try to get creative and go, how many contracts should I trade? Well, I got $300 in there. How many should I trade? One contract, because that's really going to be, a high hit for you. But if you got $4,000 in your account, how many contracts should you trade? And if you just start making up numbers, grab yourself a damn calculator, pop it up. $4,000 divided by 55. Simple. It's a lot, right? But you won't be trading that many, So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that if you start out trading one contract at a time per session, and you're trading, say, one or two trades that come over, once you start making the money, okay, and you if it's every 550, keep it at that. It could be every 500. Christ, you can make it every $1,000. You want to increase by one contract slowly. I think David Menning made like 2,500. He hasn't increased to a second contract yet. But once he does, what's going to happen to his numbers? In this first time, what's going to happen to his numbers? They're going to double immediately. Okay? So now instead of 2,500 for that month, he could possibly make 5K for that month. And with that process, the next month he's adding, with not even in a month, maybe in a half a month, he's adding a third contract in there. The big question to ask is, how many contracts should I go to total? I'm going to put this out there, not to be cowardly, but to be very aware that at 10 contracts, sometimes Nadex doesn't fill them all right away. I've seen this in the past. It might fill on 4 and then do another 3 and then finish it off with another 3. And in getting out as well, I mean, because we take everything to expire, we don't scalp, so it's not so much of a big deal unless you're Paul Davey. He's the master scalper. But for my case, I'm just going to stop at 10, right? Why am I going to stop at 10? Well, let's have a look real quick on why. I'm going to show you one graphic and then we'll be done for the day. Because where I want to be is right there. This is one day. One contract. Could you imagine? I can't imagine it anymore because it's sitting right in front of me. I'm 1 week away. Maybe 2 at the most with the Xedan being attached to that point. But do you not think that I cannot just sit, that I could come down and I could just sit down and be at my computer at the top of the hour, 5 minutes prior to, and if I just chose one session, I'm going to make this public, by the way. We're going to put this out on public domain here for you guys in the den, so you could see this. If you begin using the ATM signal trading system, make a new tab down the bottom. If you're using Xedan, if you're using this, keep your all results separate. Don't drive me crazy, please. Please do not use the color red either. We've had this discussion before. There's a lot of people out there, don't use the color red. It's defeating. It's pessimistic. They use it in accounting all the time to draw attention to it. I want you to draw attention to your losses, but I don't want there to be so out there that you're constantly focused on. Definitely use green. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions, any statements, anything you want to bring to the table? This is an open forum at this point.
Yeah, Max, just real quick, would you jump back to the, on the website, the Dex Markets ATM database?
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that it's clear. The open price is not a price that you're going to get. That's the strike that you're going to want to trade. Okay. So, you know, it used to drive me nuts with the signals. They would call me up and say, well, I can never get that price. You're right. You can never get that price. That's the strike that you want to trade. And if you're buying, and if it's right in the middle, if you're buying, you want to buy something right below it, or if you're selling, you want to sell something right above it.
Mm-hmm.
So just, you know, you're not going to see that price if you're thinking about trading Forex. With this, good luck, it will not work.
Yeah, let's look at that right now. I have my demo open. So let's look at this USD JPY 107.55. This is the oh wait, wrong one. Right here. AUD USD 69.71, right? On the sell. So you're going to go to Nadex. You're going to pull up your AUD USD. Now, because it's a 1 hour trade, you want to find something from 1 hour from now. So that's 1 o'clock, right? I got to refresh. There we go. AUD USD 1 p.m. Right? What was it? 691. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's commodities. And I got to refresh. Okay. 69.71. So 69.70 is a sell. So 69.72. It's that simple. Don't make it rocket science. Right? It's that simple. 69.72 on the sell. Now, it's already in a loss factor at 69.74. If you were to happen to get there, you got 52 minutes left. You just started this process. You'd automatically be into this trade. I don't want to do this because it'll mess up my Xedan results. That is what it's connected to. All right. But that's how easy it is. 69.72. Boom. Put the buy in or put the sell in. You come over to the side, pop, and you get in. Done. Let's look at the other one. Great Britain Pound USD, 1.2571. Come in, 1 o'clock, 2571. Now, see, with this one's a little bit different, right? You would go, well, Max, you know, you got 2568. That's about only 3 pips in. You know, wait, was that a buy? No, it was a sell. Okay. So you're like, you know what? It's only 3 pips. I'm coming into the trade only 3 pips. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. It is. Okay. So if it's 1.71 and you got 2578, you know what? That's still a valid process. That may be too far out for you, right? And plus, it's already out of the money right at the moment. But this still could be a pretty big winner for you. Well, we won't know until we know, right? Now, do you come up, if you come in and it's already out of the money, do you say, all right, 25.88? You can do that, but now you're buying into the money a little bit further than what the prognosis was. You could do that and put a $45 profit margin in there like that. Oh, no, that's size. Almost did that. I hate that drop down. I really do. And do something like that in place order and give yourself a working order for that 25.88, but it's not suggested. You can even go and look at the chart and kind of put the analysis to it, and that's it. Now, if you're going to be trading this process with a Dex Atomic and you're using TradingView, there is another whole system in there for you to get actual alerts and all that stuff. And I'm going to be making videos this week on how to set all that stuff up as well. It's amazing, but you got to have a pro account over on TradingView. It costs money. If you're cash shy right at the moment, stick with this, with the signals or the chart or what have you. It's the same thing that you're going to do with a chart as well. Sorry. With a chart as well from here, right? If you're on the AUD USD and that signal pops out, there it is right there. You're going to come back to the money, 69.71, 69.70. I mean, this one's just a little bit different than the signal, right? Because remember what I said, I've had to take certain circumstances over there and add a little buffer for the indicative. Okay, so that's what this does. So 69.71 is right there. So then you would go over to Nadex and you'd get 69.72. I think that's what it was over there. And you go for it. Now, if you look back here and you see up here that there's like 69.76, remember 69.78 that was there? That's pretty strong. and it probably get bought up, and you might do well with that. Right? I think now that Audi USD has sort of come out of that as well. And if we would have gotten that 69, oh, there's 76 right there, right? That was up, it's 45, way past 45. Right? So there's an opportunity there. Now, do you buy both of them? No. Don't start just adding stuff on because it looks good and it could beef up your stuff. Stick with the program. Why? Because the program works like this. That's the program. Don't try to make it more. Don't try to trade more. If you just go from one session to the next, you're going to find yourself sitting down at your computer at the top of every hour, and you're going to get bored to shit after a while. You're not going to want to come back at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. David Menny was in there trading like 4 or 5 times a day, and there was all these great things that were happening. But listen, a lot of this stuff just comes down to trading a session that you feel comfortable with, going in for trading for 2 hours. Let's say if I wanted to come in and just trade, you know, if the really good trades was between 9 and 11, right? There's one. Let's just do this then. We'll do the opposite we did before. By 9 and 11. And so just between 9 and 11 this morning, I would have made $150. Okay. And let's say I just do that, and I'm doing it one contract at a time. And I want to trade 2 contracts. So I need to get to how many? I need to make at least another 3 or 4 days worth of profit margin at $150 a spot to make that. But if I need to make, if I'm trading that every day, how much money do I need to make? And we're going to talk about that tomorrow because we went way too long here today. But we're going to talk about how many contracts to trade, how to trade them, how to get them on board, and then how to get started into that live session. We're going to really expand on that. You know, what are some things that you can do to basically try to get started with as little money as possible. But again, I don't want to create this fear factor for all of you. All right. Lastly, anybody else have any other comments? Anything else? This is your process here. So no.
Jeff Whitman asked, does the Dex ATM database page refresh automatically? No, it doesn't.
No, it does not.
You have
not
to do
at this
that.
time. I will be making it do it soon, but it was messing with a little bit of the code that I was doing over the other side. Plus the database takes a hit every time. It's different than our other database control system that we have that is real robust. This one is something I made. So it's starting, I'm starting to add more features like the filters and all those kind of stuff, right? So keep that in mind. Top of the hour, sit down at your computer, real close to the top of the hour. As soon as it hits the top of the hour, refresh your page. Whatever's in there. It's only going to take a millisecond. It's not going to take very long. There's no alarm system. There's no nothing. It all depends on how you want to trade. You want an alarm system? You want an email? You want all that stuff? Get the trading view system. And I'll show you how to use it. I'll get you the ATM system in there, I promise, if you're in a den. But you got to be able to do the work. Don't just go in like, yeah, I want to try it out. Let me see if it works. No, it works. If you want a signal, like you're stuck up against a job, you only can sit down at your computer at a certain time, or you can sneak away for a couple seconds at the top of every hour to do it, then we'll work something out. But only use that system if you absolutely need it. You can have anything you want, but you better be eating it. Okay? We have this statement that we say all the time. We want to help as many of you get to the idea of success. Guess who one of those people are? Me, Thor, Paul, Chris, and everybody else who's involved. And our idea of success is making money, of course. But we never say that we get everybody else there for free. So there's going to be times that you have to put your time in the barrel to make it work. I hope that this all finds you well today. You're going to have questions. There's going to be a lot of stuff, but remember, we're here to fix, we're going to get everything on. And I appreciate all your patience, appreciate all your questions. When will the DEN ATM signals go live in the back office? When will the DEN ATM signals go live in the back? Jeremy, I think they are live in there right now in the den. Inside Xedan, be a week or two. Bathroom breaks at the top of the hour. And thank you guys for all your help. Right. Develop a fake smoking habit. And only at the top of the hour during your session. Like, yeah, I started smoking. I need my break. Develop a habit, right? If you're at work, go in and talk to your boss. Be like, listen, times are tough. I mean, if you're like, it all depends, right? If you're a truck driver, don't be trading while you're driving. Come on, let's be serious, right? If you're a UPS driver or somebody else and you're distracted during the day, don't try to multitask. It'll kill you, right? There's 22 hours of the day that this thing can trades. If you can't find a couple hours, relax, grab a cup of coffee, don't drink, while you're trading, all that kind of nonsense. Get in there and start getting it on, right? And if you don't have trades to do for that day, don't worry about it. Your job is to get to a point where you get enough trades in a month, not just a week, but a month, to simply add CVG to it. And if you got to trade 10 contracts in order to make, your through with $3,000 a month, and you're only trading 3 days a week because you can only trade between 5 and 9 at night, then that's what it is. And how many of you are here and how many of you have told us, I'm here to make a change, but you asked me to change my entire network to suit you? How many of you asked that? Like, hey, can you get me an email that sends to me and then makes the trade for me? And you got to put the work in. And trust me, when you get to a point, like with David Menning, if you look at his stuff, which some of you will be able to see soon, okay? This may be, there'll be some of you that'll be out live that a lot of people will be able to see. But do you think, this isn't easy. He's not terribly, he's not like digging ditches or anything, but you got to be prepared. You got to sit down. And yeah, this is the first time I've seen him like make a mistake. He may have not have said anything in other ones, but it's the first time I've seen him, really do it. But this wasn't easy. This takes a lot of mentality and a lot of prowess to get to. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed the very first Den meeting today. If you guys have questions along the way, please, there's Discord. Learn how to use it. It's in the training. Get in there and start using it. Get into this room. This room here, that Trader Chat, okay? Right under the Dex channels, Trader Chat. If you got questions, pop them into there, right? We got Wiki. There'll be a whole bunch of things, what everything is and what feeds and all that stuff is. The meeting. I will start putting recordings in when I can into this. They'll start being back in there. So if you miss one, it'll be in there as well. Any special announcements? This one's a special group you won't be able to see. This has David Menning and a few others that are in it. But if you see under voice channels and you see me hanging around in there, you might hear some things you don't like, but you'll still be in there. You can talk to me, or if you have questions or what have you. Live stream room trading is something different. When we are live room trading and I'm doing that kind of stuff, I may put a screen share up as well. So, but there's a lot of stuff to come as well. If you're trading demo, ask your questions in there. If you're trading live, you can ask questions in there. You'll be given certain memberships in this and roles as we go. All right. I look forward to seeing you all in there. I'll be around. You guys have a great day. Thanks, Thor. Thanks, Paul. Thanks to everybody for being here today. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel tomorrow until we get a better feel for this. It might go to an hour later or an hour earlier or even later on in the afternoon. We don't know yet. We may be doing it 2 times a day. Who knows? Guys, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. And as always, trade well.